What's going on, guys? Teddy here, and I'm here with the Fair Income Boys. I just finished up a crazy episode on their podcast. We spoke everything content creation from the beginning all the way through to the end, including some self-development tips. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video if you do enjoy it. And I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we did recording it. I was just like a 16, 17-year-old. So I was like, yeah, cool. Good for you. I went to my two mates and I'm like to them, boys, my two best mates at the time, La Poquera, Broadmeadows. We're sitting down, we're eating, and I'm like, boys, I'm going to start YouTube videos. I want you guys to help me. Sort of like it's just like all you boys getting together, but like we're going to do this together. And they gave me the whole like, nah, I don't think it's going to work, man. Or if it does work, people are going to, what if someone comments, oh, look at these boys, cringe, and
at the start, especially when there's 100 views and
the hate.
Of course, and the hate is usually loud at the start.
How does it feel going back to training now?
It's good, man.
You started this week.
Happy, good to get it back into the movement. Just going through the range of motions, and when you take time off and then come back, you maybe appreciate it for what it is. You start training, start doing movements that you don't usually do, or haven't done in 6 months, and you're like, man, this used to be so easy. So it's a humbling experience at the same time, and it's man, it's just good to get back into the swing of things.
Did you miss certain lifts?
No, I actually don't miss training, man. Like I got back into it, and that's a good thing. That means I'm doing it properly.
How come
you went training for 6 months?
Just too busy, man. 3 months lockdown. So I think that last lockdown really turned me off training. Like I was just like off everything.
So you didn't train at home at all?
Man, I had the setup at home, and I still didn't touch anything. Just focused on videos. Honestly, that was my escape.
You didn't even try it?
Didn't even try, man. I could have walked like from here to Ashraf, and that was the gym. Contrary to the like first and second lockdown, I came out the biggest, strongest, and leanest I've ever been.
Wow.
Damn.
Right, and then that last lockdown, and I think I just enjoyed doing videos more, and I think that's why everything just
priority shift, man.
Further.
It's normal.
Of course, and I think I've been training for so long that I know I can always get back into it. For a physique that someone will strive the first 2 years to get, I can probably get in the next 6 weeks if I really knuckle down. I know what it takes.
Exactly.
And when I put my focus on that, that's it.
It's been there, done that. How long have you been training now? Like what? More than 15 years.
15 years, man. I'm 28, bro.
Started kindergarten.
That's crazy.
No. So I'm 28 years old. I started when I was 21.
Because I remember your Tedsthetics YouTube videos. That's been like almost 10 years.
So the original videos were 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So
I just added 5 onto that.
Exactly. So
I made him older than he is old.
Man, you sound like my parents. They're like, oh, aren't you like 38? I'm like, nah, man. You gave birth to me, man.
You're one of the boys.
Yeah, exactly. So 21, I started training. So I've been training on and off for 7 years. Started working at a gym when I was 21. Before that, I was just sort of like walking, going to the gym like once, twice a week.
Here and there,
and that was like after soccer. Played a bit of indoor. And
I remember that.
Really
Banksia?
Banksia, I played in Banksia, I played in Roxy. Yeah, man.
Yeah, there wasn't many goalkeepers, that's why.
Exactly. So every time I got an opportunity.
The boys in that, and Heidelberg, that's why.
Man, some good times. So, it's interesting times. But same thing like now. Like I sort of lost the love to play soccer.
100%.
I wouldn't like it. You could pay me now and I wouldn't play soccer.
Seriously?
But I enjoy watching it and I play playing FIFA.
You into the NBA as well?
Yeah, a bit, man. I follow it and like I enjoy playing it on the Xbox.
Because I seen you went to an NBL game, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so we at Durham sponsor Melbourne United, so there's always the opportunity to go. And I think after going to the first courtside game, you can never go back. That's like, man, this is good.
It's lit,
and it's very like it's foundation basketball. So it's it's if you play NBA 2K, you appreciate it. You're like, oh, yeah, this is good. I mean, it's not, people crazily dunking over each other, but you just appreciate the running up and down. And
the competition's getting better in the NBL as well.
100%, man.
I want to go this year once. Well, like, that's one of my
goals. Have you been to NBL game?
I've been to one, but like I haven't been to like...
Which team?
It was...
Southeast?
No.
Phoenix? Or Melbourne United?
It was the Hawks.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they were firsting at the time. And there was one game
in Melbourne, it's probably,
and I remember one game when I was trying to go when LaMelo Ball was playing. And then
Good luck.
Bro, that game was just packed out. You couldn't even go type of thing. So I was like, that's one in like, you'll never get a lifetime opportunity like that to see LaMelo Ball playing.
It was probably all booked out from the start, bro.
100%, bro. But I had mates that seen him. You know what I mean?
Serious? That's
Yeah,
mad.
100%.
Should have just gone like Wollongong and probably found him somewhere in the
Somewhere
streets.
like that, yeah.
Just keep going.
Probably got a like, yeah.
Ask every IGA, hey, did
Yeah.
you come?
Did you see him? Yeah. I just take something that he touched.
That's it, yeah, of course, man. And it's funny, like you saying that. Last year I saw Josh Giddey playing,
Oh,
right?
mad.
Oosh.
But like I just thought he was some like
Yeah.
just average Aussie kid that's just
Yeah.
running up and down the basketball court. And then I remember one of my managers telling me like, this guy's gonna be a superstar, and he's heavy into the NBL, right? And NBA. Grew up playing basketball, still to this day, like passionate about
Look
it
at
and
him now.
everything. And you look at him now,
Now.
like
Mm.
that's why you can never write off anyone
You can't.
Yeah.
Like,
ever.
and now he's the youngest guy to ever record a triple-double in the NBA.
Oh,
There you go.
serious?
Yeah, because it's like LeBron broke the record. LeBron had the record and he was ahead of for like 11 years. Then Lonzo came into the league and he broke it. Then after Lonzo, Fultz broke it. Then Lonzo broke it. Straight after, it's called Lonzo, LaMelo broke it. And everyone's like, nah, no one's younger than LaMelo's going to break it.
Yeah.
And all you see is just Giddey come up, boom, breaks the record.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Does he
this
play
guy
for-
was literally playing 6 months ago. Do you know when he started the league, yeah? They had him like his stat line or whatever. They said to him, this guy can't pass. He's not a good passer. He has no awareness to think, like his draft record or something like that. And then he goes on to, now he's like top 3 running for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And Thunder,
Yeah.
like, very average, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't pay
They're,
attention
they're
to
very
them.
average, and I think a lot of people,
Well,
like
average.
especially after Westbrook left and everything, it was they're like, all right, cool.
They're not fighting for anything.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Yeah.
they're just gonna like
It's gone.
rebuild for the next 10, like Carlton. Like
Oh,
they're just gonna
let's not
rebuild for
talk
the next
about
10
Carlton,
years.
bro.
100%.
So yeah, that's
Another story,
but
man.
yeah, NBL, inshallah, next game.
No,
I'll let
100%.
you know,
Maybe
man.
we'll go to a game together. Who knows?
Inshallah, yeah.
If
why
you get
not, man?
courtside,
Hey, that's on camera. We're holding Teddy.
Yeah, oh no, of course, man.
I want to come
course.
courtside.
No, definitely, inshallah. If we can organize, especially when they do that mid-season tournament,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
it's
sure.
really, really good because
Inshallah.
that way you can smash out 2 games in the one day.
In the one day, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
so you go for the 3 p.m. game and then the 5:30 p.m.
Later on
game.
game.
Ah.
Yeah, so
100%.
you make a day out of it.
Yeah,
If
that's
you're gonna
it.
drive to the city and park,
Exactly.
the least you could do is make a
You
day
might see
out
the
of it.
next NBA superstar as
Yeah,
well. Who knows?
exactly, man. And that's what I mean by you literally cannot write anyone off, man.
Mm.
Exactly. Just imagine, it's like the whole power of like networking as well. Like just imagine meeting Josh Giddey back then, getting to know him and like thinking him as like a no one at that time.
Yeah.
And now he's a somebody. Could have easily networked with him and then your connections from there, who knows?
100%.
Type of
And
thing.
I think the NBL is one of those places where you can go and it's very easy. Like there is a lot more access, right? Because you're not at an MCG where there's 100,000 fans. You're at the
Sure.
NBL game.
100%.
You're looking at 5,000-10,000.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're courtside, you're like most people in courtside are just like business people. They're not really there
Like
because they're
celebs.
like they're
Yeah.
genuinely there to support
it's
it,
not
right?
Floyd
Yeah.
Mayweather.
Yeah,
Interesting.
exactly. Like I think who usually goes like Curious or like they'll invite like just they'll invite celebrities every now and then. And then there's someone like myself or even Legendary who will go and they're
Yeah.
like, you know what, I actually know this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a potential draft.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Ah.
You know, like it's just someone that you can read. And especially if you follow people on YouTube and stuff like that.
That's how
Follow
they
them on
build
Instagram, you can just reach out to them.
Yeah.
And most NBL
That's
players
true.
are like nothing, right? They're like, bro, I know girls from the area, they've got more followers than NBL players.
Yeah,
You know,
Nah,
it's,
100%.
you know, and that's so local, but
Yeah.
so unknown.
Exactly. But the
Yeah.
NBL's building a name for itself.
100%.
That's
man.
that's the good thing
I
about
think
like
all Australian sports.
yeah,
Yeah.
slowly. And NBL's not even that big in Australia technically, so it's like it's a good like starting ground. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I wanted to touch on that because now you're talking about sport and everyone sees your videos. You're not talking about sport. People are seeing like a different side of you, and that's what
Yeah.
we wanted to touch on for this episode.
Yeah.
But everyone sees on social media you're ranting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are some things about you that people have no idea and they'll probably be surprised about hearing?
I think a lot of people are surprised that I'm from Melbourne. That's the thing. Everyone that sees me, they're like, bro, I thought you were from Sydney.
Yeah.
Had some girl come up to me. She was like, 100%. I thought you were from Queensland. I'm like, what? Yeah, that was unexpected. But
Got
yeah,
a geography wrong.
yeah, completely, man.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, nah, from Melbourne. So a lot of people don't know that I'm from Melbourne.
Yeah.
You know, sports is one of the things I think that just brings people together, right?
Yeah.
You know, the main reason I make my videos is to bring people together. You know,
sure.
people have a laugh. People can talk about things. You know, most subjects that I speak about are very relatable in the sense of like we could sit on a podcast and speak about any of the subjects that I've spoken
Yeah.
about, or you could be at a barbecue with the boys and speak about that. You could be at work speaking about it. So yeah,
For sure.
what else? I'm 28. I'm a father
Yeah.
of 2 beautiful girls. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, like wouldn't want any other way, and they keep me grounded. I'm a married man as well.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, not like a lot of people usually, if, you know, jump on a podcast or anything, the first thing they'll brag about is their follower count, their
True.
you know, their viewership and their achievements and everything. But for me, my
Which
biggest
is-
achievements,
I'm joking.
I wouldn't have a clue, man.
Yeah.
Like I think my wife the other day, she's like to me, "Oh, you know, you've got this many followers." I'm like,
Not bad.
man,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you know,
Alhamdulillah.
if you look at the back end of the stuff, the follower
Mm.
count doesn't even matter.
And especially like sometimes you're proud of your work, and the numbers either like make you feel like you can't judge how proud you are because of the numbers.
100%.
It's like that, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The one thing that I can always stay true to myself, and you boys will probably feel the same about your podcast. You can look back and at least be like, yeah, damn, that was a good conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, damn, that was a good video. I don't ever remember it as like, oh, this video got 100,000 views or this thing. I just look back and I'm like, man, that was funny. Like that was fun to talk about.
Exactly.
Or, you know, when someone comes up to me and speaks about, you know, like a certain video, I'm like, yeah, that was good. So for me, that's why, you know, I enjoy it. And, you know, when I make videos, I do it for the enjoyment of it, enjoying the process and the discussion that it brings up, right?
No, 100%.
Because music brings people together, food brings people together, sports bring people together.
Exactly. Podcast brings people together.
Exactly, man. Conversation. And, you know, everyone's one conversation or one video away from, you know, their perspective or life changing.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's why I do it. You know, I do it to have fun. And
I was actually thinking about that today because I was thinking about the concept of podcast, and I was driving here and I'm like, damn, man, like I'm pretty lucky. We're pretty lucky the fact that we do a podcast.
100%.
Where we meet guys like Teddy, you know what I mean? And then we can actually have a conversation with him without thinking about the views. Because that's one thing about us. We don't really think about the views. Oh, we're going to try aiming for like, I don't know, 10K. We didn't even have that many views to begin with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that we can have engaging conversations that later on that we can apply to our own lives. You know what I mean? Like when we meet like certain psychologists or something like that, Monique,
Definitely.
you and all that kind of stuff, we go, oh, we're inspired by that. And we hope that even our audience gets inspired by that too. You know what I mean? The whole idea of benefiting people out there. You know what I mean?
Of course. And, you know, inshallah, we can both, or all 4 of us, 5 of us can look back at this and say like, oh my God, remember when I first started? Versus like, you know, a year from now.
Yeah, that's
you know,
what
you have that catch up like in December. And you'll be like, man, it feels like just yesterday we were here at this restaurant and, you know, talking like this, and this is what we're doing, and this is who we are, what we do now. You know, things can change.
Speaking about reminiscing real quick, and the whole idea of bringing people together, that's why you do your content.
Yeah.
Where did Tedsthetics start? Where did Teddy start?
Like the name,
As
the
in-
nickname.
The nickname started in high school. Some lady jumped on a tram. So my name's Rashid. Not a lot of people know that because most people will be like, well, what's your real name? That's Rashid. And it's spelled with a CH.
Yeah.
So a lot of people always got it wrong. They always say Richard and everything. And I'm like, man, like, and they'll like keep saying it. And I'm like, bro, my parents named me Rashid. You call me Rashid. You know, I'm like very firm on that.
Yeah, that's good.
And when I was younger, there's some lady like come up to us in a tram. And she's like, oh man, you look like a teddy bear. And then like,
No
it
way.
just started, like just random on the way to St. Kilda. And like we just started laughing. And then like it was teddy bear, teddy bear, teddy bear. And then cut it short, Teddy. So when I went to name myself, it was
Came up with Teddy.
exactly.
Because probably you and the boys first, and then you get, you know, it's like this guy with Legendary. That was just his nickname with his boys, and then now it's like a.
It's one of those nicknames that just sticks as well.
Just
after.
legacy, man.
Yeah, literally.
That's the next level up.
It's one of those things as well.
Super Saiyan. Just evolving as time goes.
It's only a
man.
matter of time now.
That's it, yeah.
It's one of those things as well. It's like some people probably know you more as Teddy than they know actually Rashid. You know what I mean? So they'll say, who's Rashid? They'll be like, what? You don't know Rashid? It's like Teddy, bro. It's that type of thing.
It's trooper because like a lot of older people, like my mum's friends or something like that, they'll be like, oh, you know, I watched Teddy, and my mum's like, my son Rashid, like, no, Teddy. And it was just, you know, especially like older people, you know, that when they really stick to something or something sticks, like Legendary will probably be Legendary
Yeah.
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, not more people know me as Legendary than they actually know like my actual Gubby.
Yeah,
You know, it's pretty crazy.
that's it, man.
But it's good like that.
Yeah,
How
of
did
course.
how did like the whole idea of, because I know before you even started like TikTok, and a lot of our listeners might know Teddy as like the guy who makes TikToks and Instagram reels and stuff.
Yeah.
How did you get into the whole like creative scene, and like when did you even pick up your first camera?
So
Your journey with that.
you know, I was having a funny conversation about this, like in year 9, 10, 11,
Yeah.
I was a gun at media. It was probably like the only subject that A+, and it was easy. It wasn't like work, you know, like I'd go in, whether it's camera work, whether it's microphone work, whether it's editing and everything. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, when they speak about product placement, the theory, everything that you could do with media, I was like, yeah, man, like I love this, I enjoy it and everything. And then I told my parents, like, I want to actually study media.
Ooh, that's
They're
not
like,
a
bro, shut up.
conversation.
Man. And they're like, you know, unless you're going to become like, who's that guy on TV? Like Peter Mitchell. That's the one. They're like, you're not going to become Peter Mitchell. Like, unless Peter Mitchell dies, like, you're not going to take his job. So they're like, don't worry about media.
They thought that was the only
Yeah,
job.
like that's it. Like if you study media,
Yeah.
there's no such thing because they don't have the concept of, you know, there's a camera person, there's an
Yeah.
audio person, there's a sound engineer,
100%.
you know, like all these things, or there's even like developers and everything. So, you know, that's when I sort of like really, really loved media. I did my YouTube videos back in the days, enjoyed that, did it for 2 years, let it go. 8 years of just like working on myself, traveling, doing things that I actually enjoy. Because Ashraf and I touched on this a little bit, where in those 2 years, I just made content for other people in the sense of I was just given so much of myself that I never really did anything for myself.
For yourself, yeah.
Right. And yeah, it's just like after I stopped it, I'm like, cool, what do I need to do? First thing was I need to lose weight. I looked at myself in the mirror, I wasn't happy. You know, it's like a post-breakup.
It's like,
like
first thing I need to do to make
YouTube.
good videos is lose weight.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's how the fitness, you can buy my
all that
12-week
started.
program now. I just started training and, you know, just started focusing on myself, reading more, doing more. I think doing more was more important than actual reading and, you know, training, like just having real conversations, having real relationships, not relationships based off of, hey, we go to the same club, we see each other there every Saturday. Okay, cool, we're friends. We go to the same gym. Oh yeah, we're friends. You know, it's you tend to find out that a lot of people you're friends with, you're friends out of convenience. You're not friends because you're actually friends. You're friends because you happen to be at the same place.
Exactly.
You know, me and Ali go to the same high school. We hang around together every day. Why?
School.
It's or you were there from 9 to 3.
Exactly.
Cool, we're boys now.
You play the same sport. That's
Exactly.
enough,
That's it. That's all you really need. So I just needed to get rid of like a lot of friendships that were just out of convenience.
Yeah.
And really like, who is Rashid? Who am I? What do I want to do? All right, cool. You know, I want, you know, complete half my din, get married.
Exactly.
Cool. How do I work on that? How am I going to meet new people? How am I going to, you know, do things? So yeah, the 8 years was just traveling, learning new things, going through things, good and bad.
Yeah.
You know, I can never like sit back and say
It's
like, oh,
perfect.
those 8 years were smooth sail and everything. But at least I can look back and say I don't regret one day because it's made me the man who I am today.
100%.
Yeah.
That 8 years you're referring to is that break, yeah?
That's complete break, like no videos, no nothing. It got to a point where, you know, Instagram, I made a new Instagram. I deleted my old one, made Tedsthetics. So Teddy and aesthetics, gym, Tedsthetics, and just an account where I could document where I was like really like trying to take my fitness and training serious. You know, going from just losing weight, losing a few kilos to, okay, how do I look like a sculptured statue, get shredded, and take it to that next level, right?
Okay.
Because just like anything in life, you know, if you want those extreme results, you got to do extreme things. And I wanted to share that. Like you go like to probably like my 5th or 6th Instagram post, and it was like, this is the first ever black coffee I had ever in my life, man, at 21. And it's because some guy told me, no, stop taking pre-workout, take black coffee instead.
That's crazy.
So do you take pre-workout or just black
Every
coffee?
now and then.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Black workout.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, because I know you after the 8 years you did like a rebirth. You started again. During those 8 years, were you ever considering coming back to making content?
Yeah, look, I won't lie. Like in those 8 years, there was probably like 2 or 3 times where I was like, you know what? You go out in public, people are like, oh, come on, man, you were doing so well. You were doing so well. And you know, you go home or you drive home or you jump on the bus or whatever age I'm at, where I think, yeah, I was doing well. Like, why'd I stop? I'm an idiot.
Exactly.
And, you know, when I was doing videos, it wasn't like, you know, yeah, you could be a YouTuber. It was like, bro, YouTubers are only in America. What are you trying to do?
For sure.
Right? It was something that, like, if you told someone you started a podcast back then, they're like, bro, are you stupid?
Yeah.
You know, like no one's gonna watch a video for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You know, Joe Rogan's latest one, 4 hours. No one's gonna sit there and watch it for 4 hours, but you really never know. So back then, it was like one of those things. Like I was laughed at, or almost like doubted. I won't say laughed at, but just doubted. Like there's no chance you could do that. And then I did do it, and then the first 2 years were almost like, oh, you know, you should do it. You should get back into it. And then it was the rise of YouTubers, influencers, and people were like, oh man, you could have done so much with that. And I was like, you know, and you have those moments where you're like,
So why didn't you? Because you said 2-3 times.
You don't enjoy it, man. Like I started it, and you know when you do something then it becomes work number one, and number two, you just don't enjoy it.
For sure.
Like you're not doing it for the right reasons. It's just like gym.
Intentions thing we talk about,
100% intentions. You know, when you go to the gym, if you're training because you want to pick up girls, the first 3-4 weeks are going to be good. And then you get to a certain point in your physique and you realize girls don't actually care about your physique.
For sure.
And then you're like, oh, okay, then don't worry. And that's why a lot of people train for the summer and stop in the winter. Because they realize like, oh, well, you know, no one's going to look at my physique. No one really cares about my physique.
It doesn't really matter.
And that's what happened with videos. Like I started that first 2-3 videos.
And then went from there.
I was just like, nah, don't worry. It should be all right.
Where do you get your inspiration from? Because like you said, when people think of YouTube, they think of like content creators in like like even vlogging and all that kind of stuff. You think of your
Yeah.
Logan Pauls, your Casey Neistat, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like being in Melbourne, you can't think of, or like I can't think of like big content creators on top of my head. You know what I mean? And probably you're one of them. You know what I mean? Like if we go back to the OGs
Thanks,
of
bro.
YouTube in Melbourne, yeah.
I'm gonna send that to my mum. Yeah, see?
Oh, I made it.
Yeah, exactly, man. Don't worry about a blue tick. I got legendary's approval.
I got you. But yeah, so what inspired you to do this in Melbourne? Like, was there anyone in Melbourne that
Was
inspired
this like, are you talking the new or the old?
you? The old?
The old
Yeah.
was just, I was grade 6, year 7, consuming YouTube before. Like when I told people YouTube, they were like, what are you on about? And it was
Yeah.
just watching American YouTubers.
American YouTube, yeah.
And then it came to a point where Superwog came out. Everyone in high school used to watch Superwog, laugh and everything.
Deadly.
And
Used to live
yeah, exactly,
Superwog.
man.
Yeah.
Pardon?
We used to live Superwog.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, every Sunday, Monday, there was a new video.
yeah, yeah.
You know, I was already on YouTube in the sense of like I kept I was always subscribed, watching. You know, whilst now people make 10 accounts and
Yeah.
you know be subscribed on one, the other one, oh no, I'm not subscribed.
True.
Whilst back then, like one account, one subscriber meant they're actually watching all your videos.
Yeah.
So what happened was Superwog released some videos, and I saw that there was a gap where, you know, it's in media. It's very important to have representation, right? People that look like you in media
Yeah.
is so important.
True.
Because when like now I make videos, people see me making videos. Other people have faith that they can be content creators. You know, they say, okay, look what Teddy has done.
Yeah.
That could be me. You know, it's just like
Sure.
when J. Cole was being asked about his teeth
Yeah,
or
yeah.
hair or anything like that. He's like, I don't want to get it fixed. I don't want to get thin because I want people to look at me and be like, bro, who cares that he has crooked teeth? Who cares? Like, I can still do it. Because at the end of the day, if you have talent, you have the
Yeah.
gift of the gab, whether you have the acting skills, you can train it and everything.
Exactly.
You know, so like representation is very important. So there was Superwog at the time.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was a gap in the market where like no one was talking like area. Like there was, they were acting it, but no one was talking it, where, you know, like almost like in a stand-up comedy form where someone can say something, you're like, fuck, that's my life. Because every time I watched YouTube videos, it was American.
Yeah,
it was like, oh yeah, stop at the gas station.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, let's get
Couldn't relate to
Starbucks.
them,
Yeah, like I'm like, oh yeah, that looks nice. Must be nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I remember going to my shift at Macca's and I'm just like to the boys, like, I'm thinking I'm doing YouTube videos. They're like, good for you. Like they were older, so they sort of got it, but didn't really get it. I was just like a 16, 17-year-old. So they were like, yeah, cool, good for you. I went to my 2 mates and I'm like to them, boys, my 2 best mates at the time, La Porquera, Broadmeadows.
Yeah.
We're sitting down, we're eating, and I'm like, boys,
Yeah.
I'm going to start YouTube videos. I want you guys to help me. Sort of like it's just you, like
Yeah,
all
us
you
boys,
boys getting together, but like we're going to do this together. And they gave me the whole like, nah, I don't think it's going to work,
yeah.
man. Or if it does work, people are going to, what if someone comments, oh, look at these
Negativity.
boys,
Yeah.
cringe and,
At the
you know,
start,
what if
especially
this,
when there's
what if
100
that?
views and
The hate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And the hate is usually loud at the start.
Way hard.
Yeah, for sure. You
Very,
magnify
very
it, yeah.
loud. You know, then you get to a certain point where, you know, alhamdulillah, you know, the love outweighs the hate. You know, now when I get a hating comment, I'm like, yeah, cool story, bro. Can't say it to my face. And then we'll have that discussion. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with someone, you know, having a different opinion to you.
True.
You know, it's really good. But when someone is just blatantly like hating on you, and that's what they were genuinely concerned about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, that's not going to stop me. If it's going to stop you boys, then cool.
I'm good.
What do you think taught you the thick skin? Like now you're 28 and obviously you said you started at 16. It might have actually been tough when you're 16 to maybe 18 doing it. But what stage kind of taught you, like what experiences?
When no one says it to your face, it's
Easier.
It's water off a duck's back.
True.
You know, do you think like most EPL players look at the sport Bible and think, oh, the admin is like, tell us saying like I played shit today.
Yeah,
No, they're listening to their coach. You know,
sure.
they're listening to Pep Guardiola. They're listening
Exactly.
to Mourinho's. They're listening to their coach, their staff, because that's the opinion that really matters. When I put out content now, the opinion that matters to me is the people like immediate. You know, where my wife, you know, if she thinks it's good, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Then that's it. If none of the boys around me, like, you know, if Ali does like text me and is like, hey, bro, I think that's a bit like out of touch and everything, then I'll consider that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take on that feedback. But if it's someone,
Can't listen to-
user 112 with no profile photo,
100%.
thinks
Zero followers.
like, yeah, exactly, with 0 followers.
You
thinks,
should cut your
Yeah, yeah.
beard. I don't like it.
Exactly. Like, oh, you know, why is this? Why is that?
Yeah.
Bro, who cares, man? So I think like from a very early stage, like I just knew that it's just the internet. Some people do it because they want to be edgy,
Yeah.
and some people just do it because they're genuinely miserable.
100%.
You know,
That time, there must have been a time where it actually did affect you. maybe your mum or dad came up to you and said, hey, you're going a bit too far, or something in the community, one of your friends.
True, yeah.
Was there an experience like that?
Definitely, yeah, of course,
What did you do to cope with it when the pressure wasn't just external, it was internal?
Yeah.
Like the people you love
Yeah.
maybe didn't have your back, your
Yeah.
friends or whoever.
So there was like my parents and my dad didn't really have an understanding of what was going on, or he at least didn't know how big it was. Right, he just knew like a couple Somali boys come up to him and be like, "Oh, your son makes funny YouTube videos." That's it. You know, yeah, exactly. Back in Heidelberg, and that's it. But my mum, who's born and raised here, had a bit of a concept of like, hey, you know, and this is what my son is saying. This is what, and the only real feedback that she gave me is like, you know, like all this swearing, all this, you know, all this vulgar language that you're using, is it like really necessary? And I'm like, partially, yeah. Because when you're 16, 17, that reckless chorus language makes it 20 times funnier.
Exactly.
You know, I look back at my videos, they were funny, but they'd be a lot funnier if I wasn't swearing.
True.
And that's why till this day, I will not swear in a video. I might say the word piss or shit, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. You hold yourself to that standard.
Exactly. I hold myself to that standard. And now I've got kids. Last thing I want is someone coming up to my daughter or my mother-in-law or my sister-in-law being like, oh, isn't this Teddy? Like, what is he saying?
How he's going to raise kids if he's doing
Exactly. And, you know, last thing I want is my daughters to look back on that legendary legacy and say that, you know, like, look at my dad. Like, he was talking shit. Yeah. But, you know, at least he was having a laugh, right?
Exactly.
You know?
When was that switch? Was that when you returned from YouTube, or was it like very recent? You know,
that was very recent.
Like,
so,
as inappropriate language and all that?
Yeah, appropriate language is like after... You know, once I started work, so I worked in that 8 years, I worked in the gym, then I went to a government job. When I was in a government job, that's like my first professional job where, you know, I'm working with people that are not my age.
True.
You know, so I saw things from their perspective and that shifted. You know, someone could be the best person. They could just swear or say something wrong at the wrong, like say something wrong at the wrong time, and you're just like, oh, maybe they're not such a good person.
Opinion
and
changes.
sometimes, the opinion changes like this. You know, I could make 150 good videos. All it takes for me put up one really bad video, and everything goes right. So it happens, and and I think working in that structured, formal setting taught me that, hey, you know what? If you want to be great, if you want to be good, you can do it. You can swear, and you know what? Your boys might like you. The people who are in that scene might like you. Yeah. But if you want to be great, you got to make sure you're catering for anyone and everyone.
It's bigger than the boys, basically.
100%.
And I feel like you said when you're doing videos at like 16, 17, you go through that phase where it's like you need that attention or you crave that attention more, and you feel like swearing does kind of help with getting more attention from people.
And to a certain extent, sorry to cut you off, you've got to be captivating. Right? When you're 16, 17, who's going to take someone 16, 17 on YouTube serious?
Especially the algorithm as well.
Exactly. So if you're throwing in that swear word every 4 or 5 words, people are going to keep paying attention.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And attention is the currency that keeps YouTube and TikTok and stuff alive.
Exactly, man. And if it works, why start?
Was that who you were? Were you someone that swore that frequently, or did you have to do a little extra for the videos?
So I swore, but however, the delivery had to be a little extra because you have to be that person for the internet. You know, like you said, people know Teddy, but people don't know Rashid, right? Everyone will meet me at the gym. Oh yeah, exactly. Or people will meet me at the gym, or people meet me out in the streets in the city, like Foot Locker, Coach Kings. People come up to me, photo, and they'll be like, "Man, you're very reserved. You're calm. You're chill." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm with my daughters and my wife. Like, what do you want me to do? Address them the same way.
Exactly.
You know, do you want me to speak to you the same way? Like, you know, I'm a certain person in certain places." You know, if I need to be Teddy, I will be Teddy.
Exactly.
You know, and if I'm managing my team, I manage a team of 20. Imagine me, like, the tone of my videos carrying over into my into management. No one's going to want to work for that.
Yeah, true.
You know, and so you've got to be the right person at the right place.
Exactly.
You know, wherever you are. And when you learn to control that, that's a superpower within itself.
Exactly.
I wanted to touch on, because now you've been in like the content creation for years, like you said, maybe a decade, or at least like 2 years then, and then you're back at it.
Yeah, so 2 years then, 6-7 months now.
Yeah, so a couple years.
Pretty
but
good
it must be a thing where like you have to keep thinking of new ideas. Obviously, there's that creative side of you that back then maybe you might have not had belief in yourself, but then after making videos, you start to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
When did that first belief that like, hey, I'm creative, I can actually think of some good ideas come?
So I think it's 50% feedback based where I'd meet people and they'd be like, bro, you should make a video about this. Now the
Okay.
comment section helps because people will just comment what you should make a video about, or they'll DM you.
Yeah.
But like I got people messaging me like ideas like crazy, like, and I think like, bro, I will never talk about this. But people feel like, you know, it means a lot to them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I could get a guy message me saying, "Oh, make a video about baseball," and I look around me, who the hell watches baseball, bro?
One American follower.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Look what he's wearing.
that's where the idea came from, and I'm just like, all right, I know nothing about baseball or like cricket. You know, I'm like, bro, like, you know, I find it boring. Like, you know, I'm not going to make a video about something I don't enjoy. And the other 50% is most of my videos observational humor. You know, I always make a joke that, have you watched The Truman Show?
No.
No, cool. Jim Carrey, The Truman Show. Watch it after this podcast.
100%.
Watch it. So pretty much he's living in a world, and it's a reality TV show, but he's born into it, so he doesn't really know it's a reality TV show.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the line, he clicks that the same things are happening every single day. So he breaks out of the pattern.
Yeah.
And the TV show is him breaking out of the pattern and realizing that he's actually in a fictional world and he was just born into it. And that's all he believed. And he breaks out of the pattern. So part of me is like, something will happen. And I'll feel like, bro, am I in the Truman Show? Like, this can't just be me. Then I'll make a video about it.
Everyone
And
goes,
realize everyone is like,
It's
bro,
in the
that's
same
me too.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of your content nowadays, even like with the TikTok, a lot of it is, and I feel like this is how I feel like this is how you've understood the algorithm, in the sense that a lot of your content is conversation starters. You know what I mean? People will be sharing it around and be like the coffee one. You know what I mean? Like, man, first of all, I disagree with you, the 7-Eleven. You abuse 7-Eleven.
Bro, I got beef with 7-Eleven coffee, man.
God. I was about to get 7-Eleven on the way here, but I was like, can you start
Astaghfirullah.
the podcast?
Oh my God, man.
But even like it can start conversations in the sense that, like, for example, I don't know, like the Somali boy one, you know what I mean? Like picture the emojis and all that kind of stuff. You know how many people said that around and all that kind of stuff. But I'm thinking, how do you like come up with that? Do you just like open your phone and see emojis and be like, hey, yo, I'm going to make a video about emojis today? Or like, where does it come from? Because creativity isn't easy. You know what I mean? And especially one thing I respect about you, I got to give kudos to you, but you're doing this on a daily basis. Like the consistency.
Almost, yeah, it feels like it.
The consistency aspect is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So obviously at one point you got to be like, yo, I got to step back and what am I doing type of thing.
Yeah, for
Feel
sure.
me?
Yeah.
So I asked like 10 questions in one.
Of course. So to answer what I think is probably like the main question there is the power of creativity. For me, at a place and time right now where I am hot with ideas. I'm running hot, alhamdulillah, like, you know, I am running hot with ideas. I just don't have time to make videos.
True.
You know, if I wanted to take this full time, I can. Excuse me. Would it be ideal? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because going full time means it becomes work. And then when it becomes work, it becomes tedious. So when it becomes tedious, you don't want to do it anymore.
Exactly.
So the creativity now, I'm just really enjoying like doing my job. Anytime something will happen observationally, or, you know, I'll be out and about, I'll be here like, and we'll have a conversation and I'll be like, ding.
Top 3 podcasts that you can't change my
That's
life.
it, man. And I'll just put it in my notes and then I'll let it marinate.
Yeah.
How
and then
long?
Whatever. You know, my best video marinated for 2-3 weeks.
Which was?
The coffee one.
Yeah. That coffee.
Yeah. You know, I was a barista, so I sort of had a rough idea.
Yeah.
But I really needed to nail it because it's a subject where most people start their day with a coffee.
Exactly.
You know, when you're at work with your colleagues. Oh, yeah, boys, do you want me to grab a coffee?
Yeah.
You go out, see a girl. Oh, yeah, we're going to go for a coffee, etc. So
And you
wherever you
can't
go.
make 20 videos on coffee.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can, but you don't want to beat a dead
Yeah.
horse.
And that's what it is. Like, for example, we've done this podcast for 2 years. Like, we did 6 months, and then now we've done it for like 14 months. So it's like nearly 2 years. And one time we touched on marriage.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves young guys talking about marriage.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And we did it like 7 months ago. So we waited like a year and a half to do it. And we touched on it once. And that was our most popular episode.
Yeah.
Because everyone loved it. But it was one of those things where it's like, people like, do part two. It's like, we don't want to do part 2. We want to keep it. Then maybe in like a year or so we can do
Revisit.
it. But it's one of those things like, we had to wait so long to touch on it. And then when we did do it, we're like, okay, is there going to be backlash? And then alhamdulillah, there was nothing, like no issues from it. But it's like, you have to let it marinate, you know?
You have to.
Of course, man. And, you know, like I can see you guys got an awesome library. How many times do you read a book 1 year and then if, like 12 months from now you read that same book and it's a whole different perspective shift? Completely.
100%.
It'll be the same thing with marriage, you know. How old are you?
23.
23. Ali?
25.
25,
I'd
legendary.
rather not say no.
Okay. That's all
22,
good, man.
22.
22, right? You'll read a book when you're 20 and then read it when you're 22, 23,
Yeah.
25, then read it when you're 30
Must
and
be a
it'll
good
mean,
book.
it might have a complete different meaning, you know?
Yeah.
And
That's
sometimes
so
you
true.
just need to revisit. It might not be the book, it might just be the chapter where you'll be experiencing something and look back and a lot changes.
Exactly.
You know, if you ask me when I was younger, like what was my ideal girl? Someone who trains at a gym, has got to have ABCD, got to listen to Drake, got to, you know, like if I'm going to go to the A-League games, she's got to come with me. And, you know, like stuff like that. And then, you know, you get older and then you realize like, nah, man, that's not.
That's complete opposite.
Like, I don't want someone like that.
Yeah.
That's your gym partner.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's legendary, man. I'll take him to the NBL games with me instead.
Inshallah. So back to creativity. How often do you have an idea that you're like, damn, this is good, and then like after a couple of days, you're like, actually, that was crap? Like, is it more than we think?
A lot more. Yeah,
Okay.
man. Like I could pump out, if I really wanted to, 5 to 6 videos a week.
Okay.
But I might sit on like an idea and it might be really, really good at that night. You know, me and the boys were speaking about something. We'll speak about something on this podcast. I'll drive home. I'll be like, yes, oh my God, that's so funny. I'll make a video about it. The next morning I wake up like, bro, that's the dumbest shit.
Why did I do that?
Oh man, I don't even want to speak about that.
Yeah.
No
Why don't you think
chance,
of that?
man. Yeah, like I said, there's some people that will like message me and be like, I'll make a video about face masks. I'm like, bro,
Where do I start?
where do I even start, man? Like,
Top 3 face masks.
yeah, exactly. Like, the type of face mask wearers or like,
KN95.
yeah, exactly. You know, so I'm just like, you know what's not.
Yeah.
So there are some ideas that I'll be like, yeah, at the time good, and then later on it'll be trash, and it happens more often than you think.
100%.
How many people, you know, do you probably think would be good for a podcast? And then you really dig deeper and you're like, oh, actually, probably not.
Nah, yeah. Some
there's a
people
lot
are
more
like,
to it.
yeah, there's a lot more to it. Like some people are like, they might have a name, they might have a story, but they might not be the best communicators.
Of course.
You know what I mean? You got to be able to communicate, talk with people, like unravel some certain stories and stuff. But yeah, not everyone's made for it, type of thing. But I was gonna ask you, yeah. So what's the goal at the moment with like your whole TikToks and stuff? Because after a while, obviously, it's gonna become the same thing, yeah. And I've seen you posted something about a Patreon and stuff. Do you see yourself going back onto YouTube?
Potentially. You know, Patreon, something in the future. Look, I've been in talks. Like, I'm currently in a fork on a road. I don't know where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Whether I do go the YouTube route, you know, that's naturally, that's the easier way in.
True. Why did you ask your audience if for their opinion? That was interesting.
Because feedback is key when it comes to most of this stuff. Like I should have said, you know, if someone is dying for marriage videos, then it might be worth visiting it every 3 months. You know, if people are like, oh, you know, YouTube instead of Patreon, why is that?
True.
Or, you know, if it's someone that their opinion matters to me, like I see them liking and commenting even though I might not follow them because I don't know them, I'll message them and be like, hey, what do you think of this?
What do you think? Yeah.
You know, there are things that I do behind the scenes that I can guarantee you that no other creator does. You know, like I'll pick out like a random person that's commented on my stuff.
Yeah.
I'll send them a video before I upload it and be like, what do you think of this video? Half an hour before I upload it. And they'll be like, oh my God, that's hilarious. I'll be like, all right, cool. Like, I hope you appreciated that. I thought of you.
So Patreon's going to build more of a community.
Patreon will build more of a community. However, right now it's hard because it's not very mobile friendly. Right?
Yeah.
You pull it up on your phone, it's not mobile friendly. It's also another platform. You know, I got to keep in mind that the crowd that watch me are not necessarily young.
On Patreon, yeah.
They're not going to download Patreon just
pay
so they can watch one video a week of mine. Right? It's not even worth it. You know, someone made a very good point where, you know what, I'd rather you put 2-3 ads on a YouTube video rather than me have to pay $5 on a whole different platform. If we go into lockdown, who do you think is going to be the first budget cut? It'll be your videos.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather watch your free videos than miss out on that one video a week or 2 videos a week. You know, no one wants to front up money up front. You know, I was speaking to someone about doing the comedy festival. Okay. After hearing the application process, I'm like, bro, there is probably a low chance of me doing this. Because they're like, yeah, you can perform at the comedy festival, but there's an application process. There's an
8-week training or something.
Exactly. There's an upfront payment you've got to fork out, and then you've got to promote it yourself. You just have the name that you're performing at the comedy festival.
Oosh.
And I'm like, bro, no, not right now. I'm not. So right now I'm just focusing on releasing good content. Where am I going? I have no idea, but I know I'm going somewhere. I know, like, and I'm saying this not just on camera, like I'll say this off camera as well. I know I'll probably be one of the fastest growing and also one of the biggest in Australia
Inshallah.
Because, inshallah, God willing, like I said, I want to be that representation where someone looks at me and says, hey, I want to do what you're doing.
Yeah,
And you know what? I'll be more than happy to help anyone. Anyone who runs a show, anyone who has a podcast, anyone who has anything, I'll be the first to put my hand up to come on their show, to do a video with them or anything, or help them in any way. Why? Alhamdulillah, when you're blessed with any sort of thing, like Instagram followers and like thing, it's just attention.
Exactly.
Like for me, it's not followers, it's just an audience. Because they can come and go at any time.
Exactly.
They're just an audience. So they're not followers, they're not fans, they're not nothing like that. To me, they're just an audience.
Yeah.
And they can come and go at any time. However, whilst I do have an audience that's captive and engaging, and probably like one of the highest engaging on Instagram, and I know that for a fact because Instagram has reached out to me to have a meeting, and alhamdulillah, like unfortunately that didn't happen, but like things happen or whatever, right? The highest engaging, and why should I just keep it all to myself when I can help others, and that should show them if they're good enough, right? If they can do something with me and it works out and it catapults their thing, it means they're naturally good at what they do.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, it actually calls out the people on there, like put your money where your mouth is then.
100%.
You know what? I'll drive to Dandenong. I'll drive to Frankston. I'll drive to the Peninsula to do this podcast with you. I'll pay out of my own pocket. I'll do everything. I won't ask for anything. But put your money where your mouth is. Put out the quality content. Do things. Because, if there's one thing I regret not doing whilst I was doing YouTube, was collaborating. Reaching out to certain people within the community. People, like I said, back then, there weren't as many creators. There weren't as many videographers. There weren't as many people who aspire to do content creation. Whilst now there are people who are itching.
Exactly.
But that negativity or that, that little bit of thought in the back of their mind will be like, well, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even the clout aspect of it, because like you being hot at the moment, you could easily be like, I can keep all of this to myself and
of course
not do a podcast. And because I've seen you've done bare podcasts and stuff as well. You
know?
Of
course, man.
Like,
I love it.
And not only that, you've even showed us love before. Like we weren't even that big at all. The type of
Early
thing.
days, man.
Early days. I remember.
It was random as too, the way it came up.
How did you find out about Fading?
Explore page, man.
On
Explore page, man.
on
It
YouTube.
came up. I say Suhail's beautiful face. I press it. It was a good point, and I shared it. Like that's the way. That's the way content creation works, man.
I remember he shared Asia.
It was the creativity episode.
But the Asia was 7 months ago. He followed us in December.
Yeah, but you followed us early on.
Yeah, you followed us in December. You're like 1 month in to our YouTube. You subscribed to us. I was like, how did you find that?
Explore page. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I think people underestimate the power of the internet. Like, you could. Back in the days, if you told someone like, oh, I want to do a podcast, they're like, oh, yeah, well, if Channel 10 helps you, you might get a TV show.
True. Yeah.
Whilst now there is no middleman. Put out content.
Yeah.
Someone will find you. All it takes is the right person. The first advertising collaboration job that I got was Chemist Warehouse. The daughter of the owner found me. She messaged me on an account that had like 10 followers, bro.
You probably thought
this is why you can't write anyone off. You never know who's going to be watching you. You never know who's watching. And you want to know what's funny? The most important people that will probably help you won't comment or like on your stuff. Why? Because they're watching from thing. Bro, I get X amount of views. 50% of it are from people that don't follow me.
Exactly, yeah.
It's crazy how that works.
Exactly,
YouTube,
man.
YouTube's the same as well. All channels are like saying to subscribe and pushing their fans, and they're saying like 60%, if not more, are not.
I watch you boys and I'm not subscribed.
Yeah, see?
Like, like I see it.
Subscribe.
Nah, but
Yeah,
like,
we did.
but like on my TV, I'm not logged in. So mainly when I'm consuming it, I'm not logged in.
True.
Because and that's what I mean. Like you really never know who you're reaching, and you really never know who's not following and still watching you. And sometimes it could be the most important people in your life, that will still watch your stuff, consume your stuff, and absolutely say nothing. The person that will catapult you to your next, like they suggest the next person, or they could turn around to someone and be like, actually, you should interview this person, or you should jump on this podcast, could be the person that doesn't even like your stuff or follow you.
True.
That's why when people say, oh, blue tick, oh, get your followers up, the clout, this and that, don't worry about that, man.
Exactly.
For all I care, man, I could have 1 million followers, I could have 10 followers. At the end of the day, I do what I enjoy doing, and that's all. I can look back and be proud of my work, just like you boys can look back at every episode. And sometimes you might look back and be like, I should have said this, I should have said that.
Exactly.
Maybe I shouldn't have said this, but at least you're proud of your work.
Exactly. What would you say to upcoming content creators?
Work.
Yeah, okay.
Work, definitely. Like, just get to it. Like, don't sit there and like, think about it and like, what's Ali doing? What's Legendary doing? Is it going to be like that? Do I need a better videographer? bro, I just spent $500 on microphones and then get roasted about having a microphone.
Oh my god.
Right? Here I am trying to improve
Yeah, exactly.
on my content, trying to make better quality, try to get a better camera. People are like, bro, don't worry about the microphone. Stick to this. Like, you know, don't worry about fancy lighting. Don't worry about that.
True.
Because if people love you, they're going to love you no matter what.
Just stay in your car.
Exactly, man. Stay in your car. Like, do your thing. Record it on an iPhone. It's okay.
Yeah.
We enjoy you because we follow you because we get value out of you.
Exactly.
Not because you've got the $500 microphone or you've got like a $5,000 DSLR.
Yeah.
Or, you've got the Shure microphone or the Rode microphone. People follow you because they see the value in your content. So all you can do is put out good stuff. The right people will come your way. The way the algorithm works, there is no secret like, oh my God, if you post at 7:02 when the moon is here, there's none of that stuff, man. You can read about it everywhere and anywhere, but nothing will beat consistency, hard work. Name me a content creator that's putting out 3-4 videos, reels or TikToks a week. No one.
Yeah.
People are like, you're getting this many followers, you're getting that. Bro, people are watching my follow. I'm not watching my followers.
Yeah, people are watching off.
Yeah, and they're like, what are you doing differently? What are you doing differently? Bro, I'm working.
Yeah.
I put out content. And there might come a day where that will stop, when I do go away on holiday next week, there'll be a week off. And that will test me whether I'm really for it or I just do it for attention or whatever.
Exactly.
Because
come back.
Yeah, exactly. You take that week off and you can either come back rejuvenated and like, I'm ready to make content.
Yeah.
That means I miss it, I love it, and I enjoy it. Or I could go and be like, what the hell have I been doing the past 6 months, and don't worry about it.
That type of thing. Yeah,
exactly. So any content creator, put in the work. There's no secret. And like I said, you're always one view, one like, or one follow away from that person that recognizes or shares your work being like the biggest person. Like you said earlier on, Andrew Bogut commenting on my stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, my own friends don't message me to say, that was a good video. He messaged me saying, bro, I love your work. You're the funniest guy. I can pull out the DM right now. But your own friend or your own family will say, won't say anything. You still making those videos?
Yeah.
You still doing that podcast?
Exactly.
But a stranger who has no value, like, bro, what are these celebrities going to get out of me? Nothing. I reply, they're bigger than me.
Exactly.
They've done more than me. They've got more money than me.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that will reach out to you and say, you're doing a good job. I enjoy the way you're editing this. You should talk about this. It's weird, man.
And that's a nice boost of motivation too as well.
Yeah.
100%, man. And
because no one can predict the internet and social media.
100%.
Like, unfortunately, we think like some of those friends or whatever, they make those comments. It's a nothing comment, but we think the whole internet is like that. It's like, it's only one person's outrageous opinion.
100%, man.
Yeah.
It's like completely different. Yeah.
Of course.
I wanted to know as well, like talking about like, putting in the work, procrastination, all that. How quick do you like make those videos? Do you have to do a few turns or like, how is it? Do you do it in one go?
No, not in one go. I wish, man.
Yeah.
I'd be like N'Golo Kante work ethic, man. 99 work ethic, bro.
I don't know how he said the Somali thing with the straight face.
But see, like there are some times where I'll break out a character, right? Yeah. I'm recording a video, and I'll say something, and I'm like, oh my God, and I'll laugh, and I can't edit it out. It's like that. I just immediately break out.
No, 100%.
That's a good one to post, bloopers and stuff. People actually love that.
That's Patreon.
Pardon?
like post some bloopers
of you
like trying to say
man.
something and just crack it up.
Hi, Ashraf.
I know, man. Creative director, you can jump on board. Like sometimes I do break out a character.
Yeah.
On average, it takes me 40 to 45 minutes to make a 60-second clip.
Oh wow! So you're in the car for an hour?
For an hour, yeah. But the first 15 minutes is me just warming up my voice.
Fixing up your beard,
No. Just the eyebrows, bro. But honestly, like just, whipping out the camera, just, like not finding the right angle, but almost like I'll record in the same place, the same car and everything.
Yeah.
However, just, getting comfortable, sometimes just going through the jokes. How can I say it better? How can I deliver it better? Because you watch my first 5-10 TikTok videos or Instagram reels, you can see me holding the camera shaking like I've got Parkinson's. And then like, you hear me talking, but the delivery isn't on point because it's me going, because I'm not confident in myself. I'm just making a video and people still enjoyed it. And now people are reaping the benefits of reps and sets of making videos 2-3 times a week, 2-3. You're only going to get better. Your next podcast is going to be better than your last. The first podcast I ever did, I was like, and now I can come here and just sit and talk for 4 or 5 hours and not burn out.
And get used
So
to it.
it's just reps and sets, man. And you know, you put in the work.
And unfortunately, people are not going to see that, like you putting in the reps and sets
100%.
until you say it, like today on the podcast. And that's how social media works, where people thinking, oh, like, nah, this guy can pull out once, like in one go. Like, how can I do that? I'm never going to get to that level.
Yeah.
Like people start to think like that, where it's like, it's an impossible thing to reach.
It can fall on like two ends.
Yeah.
It's impossible to reach, or bro, I can do that.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
people say they want to
Yeah,
start a
actually
podcast?
true.
How many people
Bro.
We've got that,
make
yeah.
it past 3 episodes?
Ooh.
How many people will come see you at a, you know, like at a get together or something, but like, I want to start a podcast. Give me advice, and they'll speak to you for 2 hours about doing it. Where's the execution? Nothing.
True.
Zero. Oh yeah, like how many times I've said to myself, I want to start a podcast. Oh no, I'm not ready. You know, I know I can have the best guests, the best everything. Am I
Exactly.
ready? Probably not. I'm happy to
Execution.
co-host.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's shame on me because
Yeah.
you know, like. But then again, I don't publicize it.
Do you want
In
to
a
co-host
sense.
some episodes here?
Hey,
Bro,
hey,
why
you
not?
you guys give me an invite, I'm down, man.
Okay.
I'm always down.
Yeah.
So
We'll,
you know, that's for me. That's, you know, that's a pleasure. Like I said,
we'll tee
I
up
do
a
this for
contract.
enjoyment.
We'll
Tee up the
contract. Don't
6-month
worry.
contract, man. Just don't do me like Watford or something. Every 3 months, just churn me out.
Our agent will get in contact with your agent
Thank
and we'll
you.
sort it out.
Thank you very much, man. My wife will be expecting the email. Thank you very much.
Allahu Bari. I was going to ask you, obviously there's more to Teddy and obviously more to what people see on social media in regards to like the fitness aspect of everything, the funny videos, the TikToks and all that kind of stuff. What's it like being a father, man?
Alhamdulillah, the best, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely the biggest blessing, man. Like I can't put into words, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Like from the moment they were born, even the pregnancy was beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like there were some days where I was just like, oh my God, what the hell is this? You know, like what the hell did I get myself into?
Yeah, yeah.
From the birth to seeing them develop their own personalities.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, don't you want a boy? And I'm like, nah, man.
Is it true when they say like as soon as, you know how like mothers, it's just random, yeah?
Yeah.
But do you know how like mothers, obviously they're carrying their child in the womb and all that kind of stuff. So they have that like natural innate connection. As a father, do you get that from the get or is that something like you develop on? You know what I mean?
I think your relationship has to be strong from the start for you to really like feel it. Like I remember when I first found out my wife was pregnant, I was like, man, this is like incredible, right? And there are some people that unfortunately they're in a position where, you know, they didn't expect to have a child and they'll feel like instant regret or they'll feel like almost like a borderline hatred towards it. Or if it's a mistake, you know, like, oh, we've only been married for a month. For me, I felt that instant connection
From the get-go.
You know, from the get-go. The second one was unexpected, sooner than expected.
Yeah.
I was planning to have a second child, but not that soon.
Exactly.
But alhamdulillah was the best thing. And finding out it was a girl was even better.
Even
And
better.
everyone is like, oh, you know, don't you want a
Nah,
boy?
girls, man.
And I'm like,
girls.
nah, man, they're my
Yeah.
ticket to Jannah. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, I would have won any other way.
Way better, 100%.
Exactly, man.
Did your priorities straight away change?
Of course, yeah. Right
Yeah.
away, man. Not that I lived like a crazy life or anything,
Yeah.
but my priorities changed right away in the sense of everything that I do now, the equation changes. You know, the formula is like me plus my wife plus my 2 daughters. Are they? If I make this video, are they going to be proud of me? You know, if I go to the gym and improve myself, are they going to, you know, like, are they going to see me as like a role model? You know, every time we drive past my workplace, my daughters point, gym.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're 2.5, 1.5. They
Wow.
don't, you know, when you were
Exactly.
2.5, did you ever know about the gym? No, because like our parents probably didn't train.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, we knew soccer and everything.
True.
And you realize that they're sponges. So
Yeah, big
you know,
time.
your priorities will shift immediately. And the good friends will respect it immediately. You'll find, like, I know it's like an extreme circumstance, but you'll really find out who your true friends are when kids do come into the equation.
That's true, yeah.
Because, you know, you can't do, you're not as flexible.
And I think, like, for example, when we met for dinner, you know, I've obviously never met you before and I don't know your psychology on life because obviously all I see is videos.
Yeah.
You know, then coming and meeting you and seeing your kind of perspective, like even on productivity, on making videos, like put in the work, don't talk about it too much, actually do the work. And sometimes it's like you're so community focused. And I remember talking to you about money and finances.
Yeah.
Your perspective was a bit different because a lot of times when people start making money, the only perspective is more.
Yeah.
Give me more. It's a non-stop journey. It's like I need to be as popular as I can be. I need to make as much money as I can be.
Yeah.
Where did this perspective come where you're very family focused, family centered? You know, a lot of times when people start becoming successful, Like
Yeah.
we used to talk about sports stars.
Yeah.
What happens? Family's put to the side. I
Yeah.
have to do my stuff.
Yeah.
So why are you like obviously it's a good thing, but where'd that family focus, family centered perspective come from?
I mean, like 50% credit to my wife.
Mm.
You know, she's an awesome partner.
Shout out to her.
100%.
Yeah. What's her name? Might as well shout
Zelda.
out.
Does she watch the podcast?
Oh, no, she's not much of a podcast person.
Yeah.
However, if I do put it on, like she'll like always like track back.
Bro, you know,
Or when
Teddy,
she's doing her nails, she'll like listen to on
in the
Spotify.
background. Teddy was the first person that I've ever seen our podcast be on the big screen. You know, one day when he put
Oh
it on
yeah,
his
I seen
story,
that. Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell are we doing on
Oh,
a big screen?
I consume it on the TV. Like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like you really don't know who's watching,
Yeah.
where they're watching, and everything. And that's why
100%.
quality also has to go in. Like that's another factor of work
Yeah.
because you really never know who's watching.
100%. I
You
love
know,
that.
and how they're consuming it as well.
Yeah.
Some people on a projector, some people on a TV, some people on their phone.
In the
and
toilet.
That's why, yeah, exactly, man. And Patreon, that another thing. Like it's not mobile friendly, so no, thank you. Most of the people that I watched, that watch me consume on a mobile phone.
Yeah.
But going back to being family centered, like 50% credit to my wife. She keeps me very grounded. You know, like she's the executive producer. Like, you know, like we always make a joke about it in the sense of every video that I make will usually go through her because we're two very different people. Because when
Quality control.
pardon?
Quality control.
Yeah, quality, definitely quality control, man. Civica 3 and 4, man. She's got it covered. But yeah, like every video, like she'll go through it. Or, you know, if I have like any sort of intrusive thoughts, not necessarily bad intrusive thoughts, but just like impulse decisions. Like, hey, like there was this one time where a lot of people were getting, or the algorithm was favoring people stitching videos on TikTok and like not disrespecting the other creator, but almost like making a valid point or saying something about the creator or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like to my wife, 100% I'm going to get on this.
Yeah.
And, you know, like thing. And she's like, dude, don't lower yourself to their standards. So, you know, there are conversations with her and, you know, my family as well. You know, my mum, my mother, my father, that I'll just have very grounded conversation. I think when you have conversations where people see you for you and not necessarily for Teddy, like my daughters have no concept of videos or anything like that, you know, so that keeps me grounded as well. So family, you know, having those conversations with them, they see me for me before anything, that keeps me grounded 120% of the way, man. And when it comes to money, money is just a resource. That's all it is, man. It's not the end result. And like I said, most of the money that I will probably get, you know, I don't make much money. I can if I wanted to, you know, capitalize on it and everything, but I don't, right? Because I'm playing the marathon. I know in the future the money will come. For now, let me have fun with it. And when I want to cash it in, I'll cash in that check. Because I know that people who watch me now, if I do run a show, they'll be the first to put their hand up, buy a ticket. If, you know, like Legendary, he might like, let's say he doesn't like my content, but likes me as a person.
Yeah.
You know, one video made him laugh. He'll buy a ticket just for the sake of buying a ticket and not rock up.
Exactly.
But at least I know, you know, when that time comes, everyone will have my full support. Why? Because I didn't shove stuff down their throat. I didn't shove my beliefs. I didn't shove products. I didn't, you know, go out of my way to do things. And, you know, when it's time for me to cash in that check, 100% I will. For now, I'm just enjoying it, providing value, having a good time, and looking after my family. And that's what's most important.
What makes you stay true to the path? Because sometimes like finances get tough. It's like, if I can make extra 1,000 doing whatever, it's like you want to go and, you know, speed up the process. It's like
Yeah.
money
Of
is
course,
sitting there. So what makes you...
50% of products that will contact me is alcoholic beverages,
Okay.
Oh wow.
Damn.
offering lucrative money.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oosh.
so, you know, some of the money you're almost like, fuck, it's just a post.
only-
Yeah.
It's just a post. Like, you know, if I pose with a can,
Yeah.
is it really
Hey, you do the
gonna...
zero alcohol one.
yeah, like it's just a can. Like I don't even have to drink it. I could just post it.
Yeah.
And it's good money. And, you know, it's the type of money that can help, man. Like
Yeah.
it can really help. That's 50% of it.
Yeah.
And then the other 50% is like stuff that's just like massage guns and skincare and like
Yeah.
just stuff that I don't feel comfortable advertising, right?
True. True.
Yeah. Well, you
Um,
don't genuinely use. It's like
Bro, imagine me putting my leg on this table with a massage gun telling, please buy this massage gun, support my family.
You
Like it
become-
just doesn't make
you
sense.
become a meme, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like I'll end up on, I don't know, man, whatever meme pages. I'll probably end up on Hoodville or something
Yeah, one of
for the
the
wrong things, you know? Or Will Star Hip Hop for that type of stuff. But yeah, like staying true and like saying no to the money is because, you know, alhamdulillah, I do work an work an honest job. I don't put out, you know, no one knows anything about me. I'm not much of a designer person. I live a very simple life, alhamdulillah. You know, I enjoy good food,
100%.
good company. That's about it. So for me, I'm never ever tempted by money. And if I was, trust me, man, I'd probably, you know, would have cashed it in way earlier.
Exactly.
Is it because you got a taste early on in YouTube?
Sort of.
Because life experience may be that. Sometimes it's hard to have a mindset unless you've went through it. You know, a lot of times people don't learn lessons from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
only through your own.
I think the one thing that I said to you at dinner, and I'll say it again now, that money has no barakah.
Yeah.
Some people might not understand that. So I think the closest English translation I could find is sweat equity. When you don't sweat for your money, when you don't work for your money, easy come, easy go.
Yeah, no blessings in it.
There's no blessings in it whatsoever. I could advertise the alcoholic beverages. I could advertise the massage guns. I could advertise anything. But it's so easily inserted into my bank account.
Yeah.
Why would I value it? You know, I could just buy a DSLR and people will bag me for buying a DSLR and then it's just collecting dust.
Yeah.
There's no barakah. You know, you make dumb decisions with it.
True.
So, you know, for me, I'm not too concerned, you know, in terms of like cashing it in or anything. So, yeah, when there's no barakah, maybe the taste of it earlier on made me realize it.
Yeah.
And there's also like no need for it. You know, if there is a need, like if we go into a lockdown and, you know, like let's say things are really tough, then I might have to move.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it might even make me go and look out for those partnerships that I do want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? It might, you know, it might make me go on LinkedIn and message like a partnerships officer at like XYZ and be like, hey, I'm a content creator. I make videos. I'm, you know,
big fan.
Like I'm a big fan of Mercedes. And, you know, like my dream car is a Mercedes, not even a C63, man. I just want like, give me like an A250.
Yeah.
And, like, that's all I want. And they're like, they'll say, I'll be like, oh my God, this guy's got all these followers and give it to you. But will I appreciate it for what it is? Probably not.
Yeah. No.
Because I didn't work for it.
Exactly.
I'm going to get it, be reckless with it.
And it starts like an endless cycle as well. When you taste something that you haven't earned or haven't worked hard for, then what happens is easy come, easy go is another thing as well. But then your lifestyle starts to change too.
Of course, man.
And what happens is when stuff starts to get tough, you can't like maintain that lifestyle is another thing, you know what I mean? And obviously you've got a family too, so it's not worth like gambling your lifestyle and family. That's two things.
That, and there's also the upkeep of everything, right? Because if someone is known to drive a Lamborghini, that's all they're going to be known for the rest of their life. You know, when I first started the TikTok videos and everything, I can speak about this because I'm pretty sure I did speak to you about it. You know, a TV show reached out to me. Yeah. Big Brother.
Okay, wow.
This was when I was on like 12, 15K followers.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, hey, we want you, like we're inviting you to the Big Brother house.
Okay.
For a chance to win 250,000.
Allah.
250,000 is life-changing. They said, you know, like this is the stuff off the record. And I'm going to say it now because I'll never go on Big Brother. Yeah. Like, you know, even if you don't win the 250,000, you can get the blue tick. You can monetize off of that, you know, because that's social currency, right? On social media, got a blue tick, bumps up your price tag, I guess. You know, the currency goes up. You know, NFT companies or like crypto companies will reach out to you and you advertise. Yeah, the money is endless, and especially if you're a hustler or if you've got a good manager. Like for example, if I turn to legendary, I'm like, you know what?
Even better.
Just work for me. Yeah, exactly. Like work for me. I just want you to cold on LinkedIn. This is my profile. Go hard.
Exactly, yeah.
And, you know, like they say, so I want the blue tick. They're like, oh, man, this is good for our brand, good for everything. So, like, you know, crazy. Like you can go down that path and, you know, like, but all I'll be known for is the guy from Big Brother. Well, like, my kid's going to look back and like, oh, yeah, Dad, you went on Big Brother when you were younger. Get over it. Or are they going to respect me for making original content? Yeah. Funny stuff for the time. Yeah. And the key, and this is another piece of advice for content creators, make timeless pieces. When you listen to 50 Cent in the club, you can listen to it back when he first made it and now, and you'll get the same reaction from people. Because it's a timeless classic. No matter when you play it, 10 years from now, someone will play 50 Cent in the club, you'll get that same feeling. Same thing with some of Tupac's songs. Same thing. It'll feel like the same time you first heard it. It's because it's timeless. And my goal with my content, every time I put out a video, to make a timeless piece. 5 years from now, I want someone to look back at that video and laugh the same way they laughed at it the first time.
Yeah, rolling over.
Evergreen. Timeless.
Well, I love that.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, that's good, because I think when you said that, I think to myself, like when there's trends, we even like talk. Legendary and I, like, we have like, we take care of TikTok, so then we see like trends, like, oh, we can do this, we'll get good views. But it's like, is that what we're really about?
Exactly.
And you have to question, and you actually have to ask yourself, is that really worth it?
Of course, and you know, you don't want to be known as the trends guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like every time a trend comes out, you do something about it. Especially with TikTok, it's very easy to get caught up in that, like bubblegum
The drama, lifestyle, and all that.
drama, lifestyle, and not only that, like bubblegum content.
Yeah.
You know, you consume it for 5-10 minutes, and then
Yeah.
that's it. You get over it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Most of the people that you see on TikTok, you know, how many, like I had a 17-year-old kid come up to me, shout out to him. Yeah, like he was very friendly. And then the first thing is like, oh, by the way, do you make any money off TikTok? And I'm like, nah, why? And he's like, oh, because, you know, you see all those people live on TikTok, and like from Sydney, they're making this much and that much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you know,
something.
I've got integrity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got a family. I've got friends. I've got things to do. You know, I don't have...
It's not your life.
It's not my
Exactly.
life. Like,
Or
you
your
know,
image.
it's not my identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part. It's something that I do. I make
Sure.
videos. I'm not the person, like, you know, I'm not Teddy. It's a part of me. And, you know, I want people to respect me for it.
Yeah.
And that's why every conversation that I have is very respectful, because
Meaningful.
people realize that, hey, you're actually Teddy on the internet. You're a funny guy.
Yeah.
You know, you make funny videos. And then there's me when I'm with my family, when I'm with my friends, you know,
Yeah.
and enjoying stuff. So, you know,
100%.
that's super underrated. So don't get caught up in the trends.
What was your migration to TikTok like? You know, because
Hard.
was it hard?
Hard, super hard, man. Super hard. Same thing. You see a trend, you're like,
Yeah.
I can do this.
I can do this 20 million times better.
Because I saw a video of you on TikTok before you were even on TikTok, and I'm like, what? Teddy's on TikTok type of thing?
So that's what made me go on TikTok.
Oh, is that the reason you hopped on
Yeah,
TikTok?
of course, man.
Ooh,
So what happened was someone ripped my video from Instagram, put it on TikTok, and it got like 1 million views over 2 days.
1 million.
Better than your Instagram.
Exactly. But
like
a million on TikTok is like getting
Yeah.
100,000 on Instagram. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just viewership, right?
Mhm.
Who knows who's watched it for 2 seconds? Who knows who's watched it for the full duration?
Exactly. Damn, that's crazy.
So when I saw that, I'm like, all right, cool.
That's
There's a
happening.
demand for my content
Mhm.
on TikTok. Let me get back onto it.
And now you're just constantly on my For You page. Well,
That's it, man. I'm everywhere, and I
love
think
that.
that's the key to content creation.
100%.
You know, if you're not posting, if you're not making content, well, how am I meant to find you? It's like, you know, people who own a business and they're like, oh, why would I be on social media? It's like, bro, before I go to a cafe, I'll hop on their Instagram
Exactly.
because I want to know what they're posting. I want to know what their food looks like. I want to know everything. You know, like content creation doesn't necessarily have to be do a podcast or make a video. Dude, just post photos.
Yeah,
How many photographers blew up just from posting photos and it goes viral? Has a nice little story to it.
that's true.
Boom. How many videographers post a sick edit?
Yeah.
It could be the most stupid thing, but the most stupid thing could be the most valuable to someone else, man. And, you know, subhanAllah, the way the internet works, like I said, you're always one view away from your life changing. Always one view away from your life changing. As long as you keep that perspective, you keep making content because you really, really never know. You know, like the way I found you guys was on the explore page. Someone that I know liked your video for it to end up on my explore page because that's how
Thanks,
explore page
brother
works.
or sister, whoever that was.
Exactly. Liked it, ended up
Yeah.
on my explore page. I followed. I saw Suhail's face, and then I started watching more and more. And then I'm like, all right, cool. This is a bunch of boys that are doing a podcast.
From the area.
Exactly.
Did you know we were from the area? I remember
Sort
the
of.
first time.
You had a familiar face
Yeah.
right away. I was like, man, I've seen this guy before. I should have.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Like
Big
I don't know.
old
You
Ashraf.
just
Yeah.
had a familiar face, man. And I think going back to Banksia probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't
Heidelberg
change much.
days.
Honestly, pictures of me at 6, it looks the same.
He looks the
It's
same.
like bloody hell.
Especially with this haircut now as well.
Yeah.
How about it?
Yeah,
Short hair.
new
I
haircut.
had the bun. Yeah, I cut
yes,
it.
you did, man.
Yeah, I cut a
The
couple weeks ago.
change. What made you change?
New year, new me.
Ah, fair
No,
enough.
no,
man.
I'm joking.
Bro, that's
I-
respectable.
Yeah, I just wanted something different, bro. I had the bun. I had the bun when I finished year 12 in uni,
Yeah.
and I cut it, and then I had it again. I had it twice. This guy had it, Sahal had it.
I'm the only
You
one
know?
that didn't have
Yeah.
it. That's the reason why.
Alhamdulillah.
Just something new.
Nah, that's
you
good, man.
you touched on obviously like your journey with like your 8-year gap, you know, and I find it really interesting that like you're still self-development focused. You talked about books before. You listen to Jordan Peterson. You listen to podcasts and stuff like that.
That's the second thing I've ever seen by Jordan Peterson, by the way.
Okay.
Everything else that I've consumed by Jordan Peterson has just been small clips, micro clips.
Yeah, which is enough because you at least like maybe learn a bit about him and stuff like
Get
that.
a rough idea of who the person is.
Yeah.
And
Because a lot of people aren't readers or they're not podcast listeners, you know.
or
So
they're nothing.
what got you into it? Like even just being like
Which-
maybe more self-development focused, like you can kind of learn through these online platforms. It's not just entertainment.
I think we live in a world where you don't need mentors anymore, because you have access to mentors right away,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
right? You can follow someone that could technically be your mentors, and you're just following them on Instagram.
Mm.
You know, I could follow like another content creator.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't even make content like I do,
Mm-hmm.
but because I follow his stuff and everything, see his stories and everying,
Inspired by
you really never know who you're inspiring. It goes back to the
Mm.
content creation. You really never
True.
know who's watching, man.
100%, yeah.
You really never know. So
Was there
The-
books that stood out to you or podcasts or anything like that?
definitely, man. Books. Fuck, where do I even start,
There's a
man?
book where I've seen a couple
Yeah?
on his story,
Yeah,
You must like
definitely
the
books,
library
man. I think like the first like book that I was like, whoa, like what the hell, was the 48 Laws of Power.
Oosh.
Oh, Robert Greene.
Hey.
He's a bit of an evil one.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah, like that was like the first book that I like actually picked up, and I'm like, I'm consciously going to sit down
It's a big book, bro.
and read this.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where some guy that I followed on YouTube, successful guy, I guess you could say when you're younger, you value money a bit more, and you're like, how do these people go about their life? And the one thing the two books that he said to read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad and 48 Laws of Power. That's all you'll ever need. Like this guy was adamant. I don't even remember this guy's name, but etched into my head,
The books.
the books. Like if you want to be successful in life, doesn't necessarily mean like successful in the sense you want to be a billionaire, just a bit more successful than everyone else.
Yeah.
Because the average wage in Australia is like what, 60K a year.
Average, yeah.
To be in the top 5%, you probably have to earn over 150.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're just in the top 5%, you're successful, right? Alhamdulillah, you're doing very well.
Yeah.
And they're like, even if you just want to be in that top 5%, these are two books to read. So the first book I bought was 48 Laws of Power. And I think the one thing that shocked me was the price of books at the start. I was like, far out, man, this is steep, $30 for this book. Then I read it, and when I read it then, it was like, when you're so money focused and everything, you take it in that evil,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, he's right. If you want to be the man, this is what you've got to do, strike the shepherd and the sheep will flee, we'll go everywhere, yada,
Never
yada.
reveal your intentions.
Exactly, man. And I was like, yeah. Then I read it 2 years later, and I'm like, man, this is a bit, doesn't really need to be like that. So definitely 48 Laws of Power. Another book that I recommend, and I know like a lot of content creators will probably be watching this, is Gary V, Crushing It.
Okay.
Definitely. I think it's a yellow book. I'm pretty sure it's called
behind
Crushing
you,
It.
on your right there.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So that, if there's anything to credit what I'm doing now, it'll be all that, man. Crushing It, 100%. Read it, soak it in, read it and read it again. I read it on my way to Morocco, and I read it on my way back. On the
So
flight.
that's a legendary
on
thing
the-
to do.
Read it twice.
Yeah.
Honestly, read it and
Yeah.
take it as literally what he is saying. Like a lot of people try and read between the lines, but with Gary V, like maybe his content is a bit much for a lot of people, but his books are 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Usually that's how you measure good books as well. It's not like I've read it once and then I can quote it. It's more so like I've read it and I want to go back to it so I can like refine what I've learned.
100%.
So then I can go apply it type of thing.
Of course.
Did you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, by the way?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I read, I think, the first 30 pages.
True, you
And that was like enough to sort of give me like where this is going. Like, if you want to be rich, you got to think rich.
Yeah,
In
true,
that
true,
sense
true.
of like, hey, you can't have, I think like Jordan Peterson said it yesterday on the podcast, like poor people like just don't use resources efficiently. And I'm like, man, that's so true.
Yeah.
Because in a way, like the people who are rich, like you don't have to be like wealthy, like as in money, financial rich. You can just be rich in like just everyday things, man.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just those like small things in your life that change everything. I think, what else did I like? I think the last micro clip by Jordan Peterson was, if you want to have a good life, it's not going on a holiday twice a year, going like to the Maldives or Hawaii at the end of the year, or going Gold Coast and like having a good time. If you want to live a good life, it's do the things that you do every day, do them well, do them with the right intentions, and you have a good life. Because you won't need a holiday. Because every day you wake up, you're grateful, you've got gratitude. You know, say good morning to the right people. You know what? Once a day, and like, I know no one will do this, but I'll say it anyway because you really never know who's watching.
True.
Once a week, go through your contact list, whether it's Instagram, because I know not a lot of people like texting. Go through your Instagram, reach out to someone, just say hi. Like, oh, how are you? You know, I see that you, well, man, just reach out to someone, man. That's all you need to do, man. Just reach out to someone. Like, people think like, you know, when you're reaching out to someone, a lot of people think like you need something from them. I'm literally just reaching out, man. I need nothing from you. I'm just checking in. How are you? Good? That's good.
You know what's funny? You know who also does that same thing? Mr. Beast. He goes, because he's killing the game at the moment in YouTube, everything. Like, he's probably he's made a business out of content creating, essentially. Yeah. And he does this thing where he goes on a nightly walk randomly, and he'll go through his phone and he randomly just call people. And it's not to ask him, for business ideas or anything along those lines. It's just to keep contact with them and learn something new that he wouldn't have like 100. Expected type of thing.
Of course.
And I feel like that's like died down nowadays, you know what I mean? Everyone goes to people based off of what attributes they sort of have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a powerful concept, man.
There's that, and there's also, I feel like, how can I explain it? Completely lost it.
That's fine. But even me, like I used to have it as a habit to always like try to call someone, stuff like that. But then you forget, and then like on my whiteboard I have like weekly targets. Yeah. And it's like what I want to do in a week, like 4 times this, 5 times that, and I say message an old friend. Yeah. And it's like someone you haven't, because sometimes you delay it, and the worst thing is when you're like, hey, I need to contact this person. You delay, then they message first. And you're like, man, I've been wanting to message you for like 2 weeks, and you message. I'm like, man, you actually feel bad. So now I just like, I went the other day, I just sent like 3 audio messages to old people. Yeah. Like old mates I haven't spoken to. It's like, I've been thinking about you, you know, obviously maybe I can't see you because you're busy. Maybe in Ramadan I will, maybe this time. It's like a 2-minute message. Of course. But it goes a long way because you remember that. It's like one of my friends gave birth to a kid, I think it was a 2nd kid, like 3 years ago. Yeah. I remember he gave birth, everyone in the group chat goes, congrats, congrats. I went and sent him an audio message. Wallah, so happy for you, this, that. Like last year, he goes, 2 years ago, I still remember you sent me that audio. I don't remember anyone else's messages. Yeah. I remember that audio, and I'm like, because you just went a bit beyond what the normal person does. Of course. And that's all it takes to exceed people's expectations. Yeah. And that's how you can kind of like build stronger relationships. It's like, oh, I'll shout you. It's like, you don't have to worry about the price. It's like $17. Yeah. I'm like, damn, this guy cares about me. I'll buy you a gift. Yeah. And I'll buy you this. I was thinking about you. I came out. I thought this would be good. It's $4.
And sometimes it's not even, you know, it's not even about buying them. Sometimes it's just giving them that 2 minutes of your day. And thinking like, hey, you know what? I haven't spoken to Ali in ages. Yeah. Hey, Ali, how are you? Oh, yeah, Liverpool suck. Oh, catch it, man.
This is why I don't call
Yeah. You know, sometimes it's just banter. Like, you don't even have to necessarily like provide like, you know, a million things, you know, or like, oh, hey, man, you know, I see you're doing this. I see you're doing that. You know, you don't have to like kiss ass. You just have to be nice, man. And sometimes different people, different sense of humor, so you can say different things and mean it in a different way. Especially over audio, it delivers a lot better. You know, when you just write something, it almost sounds like you're inviting them to a pyramid scheme or something. Hey man, long time no see.
There's a question that Ali and I often ask ourselves. There's a guy named Tim Ferriss. Yeah. And we're big fans of his podcast and his books and stuff. And he has a question he asks himself. He goes, what would it look like? What would it look like if it was simple, yeah? Yeah, well, like what would it look like if it was simple? So for example, I want to contact my mate. And it's like, damn, I don't know, it's awkward, this, that. You ask yourself, what would it look like if it was simple? I'll just send them a 30-second audio. Salams, bro, you know, miss you. If you're free for a call, give me a call. Yeah. It's like simplify things because sometimes we overcomplicate it. And when we complicate things, we don't do it. Yeah. It's like going to the gym, messaging an old mate, editing a video or starting a video. We complicate things so we don't end up doing it. What would it look like if it was simple? And then just get it done. Half the time you'll realize, you know, your mind was tricking you. Yeah, you know?
The simple things that mean the most to a lot of people as well. Like you said, it's just that small thing can have a massive effect. Like he remembers it 2 years later. Like just the audio message, man. I know. Something so simple. So it's always good to reach out. I forgot about it. Pardon?
Like I forgot about it.
Yeah, of course. Because it was so little of your day. Like will mean the world to someone else. And that's why like, you know, it's very important. Like money's nothing. Like I said, it's just a resource. You know, you can always make money. You can't make time. Yeah.
And it's the feeling that's associated with it. That's the main thing. That doesn't cost a thing at all.
Yeah. And authenticity when you do whatever voice as well.
Exactly.
Because they hear you. They know you've stopped doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Just a thing. Or else you could just copy and paste it. It's just like, you know, on Eid. You get the forwarded message.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah,
like, come
yeah,
on, bro. You couldn't even write up something original
Or the Google image picture that's
Yeah.
like just straight
with the rose and
yeah. And the
Shout out to the
fireworks.
aunties, yeah. What's up, aunties?
100%. 100%. I think we'll leave it on a high note.
I wanted to ask
Sure.
one question because he has to go indoor soccer soon, so we need to take some
Yeah.
photos after this.
no worries.
But I wanted to ask you, when you think of success or
Yeah.
a successful person,
Yeah.
who's the first person that comes to mind?
When I think of, sorry,
Like
repeat the
success,
question.
someone who's successful. Who's the first person that comes to mind? You know?
No, not necessarily. I think everyone's successful in their own way. You know, like I said, you know, I can't judge success based off of you know, just like one person. You know, what success is to me, to the next person will be the dumbest thing. Yeah. You know, it's for someone in a wheelchair, success would be being able to try, like, even just stand up. You know, someone who's standing is success to them.
Okay.
Whilst, you know, someone like myself would, you know, like look at someone else and be like, oh yeah, that's success. Legendary might look like, you know, Josh Giddey and be like, oh man, that's success, man. The guy's the youngest.
Could have been
So
me.
yeah, success is so, the definition is so fluid
Yeah.
that like I don't necessarily have one person. And, you know, waking up every day, having a roof on top of your head, having food on the table, happy, healthy family, and 5 people that you can contact on your phone, I'll consider that success, man.
So
So
the
we
guy-
are all successful in our own way.
So the guy in the
alhamdulillah.
mirror.
Yeah, the man in the mirror, yeah. Pretty much, man. Yeah, everyone's a success, no matter what you do. Even like the worst person on the street could turn around. Like, like I don't mean to end this like on a religious note, but someone could live the worst life, do the worst things and everything,
Yeah.
do the shahada 5 seconds before they die, and they're a success.
Yeah.
More successful than us 5 in this room.
Yeah.
So who are we to say who's a success and who's not? So for me, it is so fluid that everyone is running their own race. And that's why, like, the world we live in, everyone is, you know, very judgy and trying to say, you know, this is the definition of that. You know, this is what this is what that is. For me, I'm the type of person, like, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I don't want to stick to one definition. And I think that's what keeps me going. And that's why when people ask me, where you going with all of this, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's all people need to know.
I love that. I love that. We're going to leave it on a high note there. Really appreciate you, Teddy, for coming on our podcast.
Thank
We'll
you
do
for
one of
having
these
me,
ones. Make sure, guys, to like, share, and subscribe. Show some love to Teddy. You've probably already seen him on his socials. What's your socials, by the way? Just shout it out.
So Instagram and TikTok are the same. So Tedsthetics.
100%.
Make sure you follow the Fair Income Boys. I know they've got a lot of stuff going on this year. And now that they've invited me to co-host, I'll make sure I bring the pressure as well.
Yeah, I
So
love
there
it.
is pressure to perform at a higher rate.
100%. Put out content.
Definitely.
We're going to tee up that contract and make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Peace.